Oh, yeah. He blows this up.
End around in the hands of Jefferson. He looks to throw.
No, sir.
He gets thrown down by Aidan
Oh, man.
Hutchinson.
I got to put a better block on the man.
And it's all about Aidan Hutchinson. If that's the guy that's up the field, you have to stay with him. Don't bypass him.
That's not good enough.
You've got to stay and lock on and trust Justin Jefferson
Just
to make
destroys
the next
this
guy
guy.
miss.
He was
who's
so
gonna be
good
on
towards the
guard.
end of the year.
He's got a much better chance of making that defender miss than getting away from Aidan Hutchinson.
Since Brad Holmes was hired January 14th, 2021, the Lions have had a clear vision on how to improve this organization. Through the draft, they've been able to cultivate pillar players that have become a part of that vision. In 2021, they drafted Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown, among others, that have become a part of this new Lions culture. In 2022, they drafted a man that has become one of the brightest young defenders in all of the NFL, and the engine to Detroit's muscle car. Thank you guys for returning for another video. I am your host, Johnny Gaz. I appreciate you guys coming back to the channel. Today we're going to do another player profile on our man, the Michigan man, Aidan Hutchinson. In this video, we're going to look at the history for Hutch. We're going to look at the impact that he's had on the Lions since he's joined the team. We'll kind of give an outlook on the 2024 season and beyond. And we'll answer the question, can Aidan Hutchinson win the Defensive Player of the Year in 2024? Let's go. Before we dive into Hutch, make sure to like the video. It's the best free way to help the channel out. Hitting the subscription button and notify bell, make sure you don't miss any future videos coming up here on Johnny Gaz Sports. I so much appreciate your time. All the recent interaction on the video has been so much fun. I love talking Lions football. There's now a membership option now available here on the channel. If you hit that join button, I will go through all of the options on how you become involved. I appreciate all the support. Thank you guys. Let's dive into today's topic. Aidan Joseph Bernardi Hutchinson was born August 9th, 2000. He's from Plymouth, Michigan, and attended Divine Child High School in Dearborn, Michigan. Aidan Hutchinson is the ultimate Michigan man. His father, Chris, played at the University of Michigan from 1989 to 1992. His mother, his sisters all attended the University of Michigan. One of his sisters was actually Miss Michigan in 2022. We know that Aidan Hutchinson, of course, played at the University of Michigan from 2018 to 2021. In his freshman season, 2018, he saw time in all 13 games. His second season, his sophomore year, he started all 13 games and ended the season with 4.5 sacks. Unfortunately, he did have the fractured leg in week 3 in the 2020 season, but he recovered to have an historic senior season at the University of Michigan, where he finished as the runner-up to the Heisman. And as you know, there's only a handful of defensive collegiate players that have even been considered for the Heisman, and only one all-time to truly win it, Charles Woodson, which we know, yes, he was a cornerback, a defensive back, a true defender, but we know that he had a lot of offensive influence, special teams influence on that team as well. So to be considered as a true defender in the Heisman is a fantastic honor. He finished first team All Big Ten. He was the player and defensive lineman of the year in the conference as well, and he was a unanimous All-American. He was considered one of the top talents entering the 2022 NFL Draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars actually held the first pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, and it came down to two players at the top of pretty much everybody's board, Aidan Hutchinson or Georgia's Travon Walker. The true differences between the players, in my opinion, and if you look into this in more detail, is that Aidan Hutchinson was the more polished talent. Statistically, he had much better numbers than Travon Walker, and he was the more established defensive end presence. Both Jacksonville and Detroit needed help defensively, especially on the defensive line. Looking into this further, come to find out Jacksonville chose to take Travon Walker #1 based on the overall potential that they thought he had. He had a fantastic combine, pro day, and his versatility not only to play on the defensive line but also a linebacker. And I think Jacksonville thought they could use him in many areas throughout their defense and really find the best fit for him. So that was really why they took him #1. Now, Detroit was thrilled with this, and they immediately ran their card up to the podium. There's actually several stories on how they kind of broke the rules with that because they knew they had their player. And of course, the Lions select Aidan Hutchinson with the number 2 pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. And I think it was really the best true fit for both the organization and the player. We know Aidan Hutchinson, the Michigan man, and then the culture, the vision, this idea of grit that the Lions have been cultivating to this point. It really felt like it was the perfect marriage there, leaving the 2022 draft. It's so good. Aidan Hutchinson's rookie season. What a way to introduce yourself to the world, right? Remember, they were on Hard Knocks, the HBO series, throughout that offseason as they entered that 2022 NFL season. And it was a great introduction, I think, for him. What an incredible moment that Billie Jean performance was. I mean, let's say it for what it is. I remember when I watched it initially, it was so cornball, right? And you almost were cringing for him. I don't use that word often. But it showed what I think for the first time from an outside perspective looking in, you could see the culture change, the shift. And again, it's not the song, it's not the Michael Jackson thing. It's the fact that he was able to turn that locker room. He had the confidence to step up in that moment. He's got the charisma and stuck to it. And he turned those guys in that moment. They got behind him. And it's just it's an overall view of what I think has now been several seasons of this culture build. And I think it was the first time that people could truly see it in action, right? I think within the organization, probably at the facility, they knew this was happening. But that was the first time you go, that's a team right there, you know? It was really cool. So Aidan Hutchinson enters this league in 2022. And the Lions started out slow, but I think Aidan Hutchinson's work ethic, his preparation, again, through the Hard Knocks series, you kind of saw it in action. You heard the coaches talk about it. You heard the media just show that he really worked at his craft. He said the right things. He did all the right things as he prepared for his first NFL season. He ended up finishing with 9.5 sacks, 52 tackles, 3 interceptions in his rookie season as a defensive edge, and 2 fumble recoveries. He was actually a finalist for the Rookie of the Year. We know that went to Sauce Gardner, who had a fantastic rookie season and has proven himself to be a true number 1 sticky cornerback. But it was a great intro for Aidan Hutchinson. We know the Lions, although they started slow, really started to turn around in 22, and we've talked about that in exhaustion, so I won't beat that up. But it was a really great rookie year for Aidan Hutchinson. The Lions and Aidan Hutchinson had a ton of momentum leaving the 2022 NFL season. Entering 2023, it was clear that Aidan Hutchinson had put in the work, continued this work ethic that he has shown really since he's been young, through college, now into the pros. He really did take the next step in 2023. He finished with 51 tackles, 11.5 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, and 101 quarterback pressures, which I think needs to be spotlighted. There are only 5 players in NFL history to have over 100 pressures in an NFL season. Most recently, Micah Parsons, J.J. Watt, Max Crosby, and Aaron Donald. That is incredible company to be involved with there. Aidan Hutchinson was a Pro Bowler in 2023 for the first time. And again, I really think he is now taking that next step. Some would argue he's already at elite status. Truly what I think affects his overall effectiveness is the fact that the Lions have not been able to give him the help that he needs up front on the defensive line, and truly the defense in general has been weak. We just finished a video here recently on the channel discussing the overhaul the Lions have done in their secondary, and I think that's going to play a big part in providing help for the defensive line as well as Aidan Hutchinson as they enter 2024 and hopefully beyond. So what should the outlook be for 2024 and beyond for Aidan Hutchinson? I think his true inner motor, his work ethic, the progression that he's shown throughout his early life, collegiate life, now early NFL life, it all leads us to believe that he's going to take the next step. Now, through the organization, they've maintained consistency through their coaching staff. Aaron Glenn returning as their defensive coordinator for another season. They've actually added a very well-respected defensive line coach in Terrell Williams. He's coming from Tennessee. He has 13 years of NFL experience. He's actually an expert in the run game. We know the Lions' run defense was actually one of the highlighted parts of their defense last year, so he's only going to add to that. But I think the biggest thing that the Lions have been able to do as they enter 2024 is they've added so much talent to the defensive side of the football. We just got off a video talking about all of the talent and the overhaul they've done in the secondary. Well, they've also added pieces up front on the defensive line. Marcus Davenport, DJ Reader. These guys, if they remain healthy and hit their potential, could truly make a difference up front and give Aidan Hutchinson the help that we've talked about. It is almost scary to think where he could ascend from here if everything I've just laid out to you holds true. I truly believe that if that ends up being the case, Aidan Hutchinson could end up being the Defensive Player of the Year in 2024. I honestly think that his work ethic won't stop until he gets to that point. I think the organization has done everything possible to now put him in a place where he can now ascend to not only elite status, but maybe beyond. And that's where I'm at here today. So what do you guys think? Can Aidan Hutchinson be the Defensive Player of the Year in 2024? I definitely want to hear from you guys down in the comments. It's been so much fun talking Lions football with you guys. Definitely want to hear what you have to say. I appreciate you guys coming back for another video. Make sure to hit the like button if you dug what we did here today on Johnny Gaz Sports. Hitting that subscription button and the notify bell is the best way to make sure you don't miss any future videos coming up here on the channel. We have a membership option available. If you hit that join button, I will go through all of the options and how you can become involved here in the channel. Make sure to take care of yourself and your mental health. That is always number one, and I definitely want to make sure you guys return on future videos. Thank you so much, and I will see you very, very soon.